Sal Bonavita here. This video is focused on practice tips on how to play Romance in the classical tremolo style. So let's get started. In the description I've left a link to the updated tab for Romance Tremolo, as well as the link to the original 2006 Romance Tremolo video and the one I did in 2020. Also, I've left links to the tremolo tutorial videos which I've done, which may help. This is not going to be a full-on detailed tremolo tutorial as such. I will be going through the basics, but if you want detailed descriptions and tutorials, check out my other videos. First things first, this particular pattern that I use is based on Recuerdos de la Alhambra by Francisco Tárrega, which is this piece. So that's where the pattern comes from. In the beginning, if you're not used to this pattern or tremolo in general, I would recommend you get used to the thumb pattern first. The thumb has to jump from the E string down to the G string, and then, which is quite a jump if you're not used to it. So with this technique, you need to break it down in the beginning so that you've got every element under control. If you're new to it and you're jumping straight in, you're going to get really confused and your thumb's going to be all over the place. So make sure you got that right first. And then practice with one finger. The A finger is the first finger after the thumb to contact the strings. So practice that pattern just with the A. That's the most important finger because it's the first one. The others will follow. Once you've got the A, the M is right next to it, so that shouldn't be a problem to follow, or the I. It's the P and the A pattern that's important. So once you've got that with one finger, try it with two fingers, A and M. Play it all the way through and then practice with M and I. Now these are not just tips I got out of a book. This is the actual way I learned how to do this stuff. I had to break it down, and I figured that's the most logical and progressive way to master this technique. All right, so, and then of course try it with the A-M-I together. First A-M, then M-I, and then A-M-I. Now I'd like to talk about the starting position of this piece, which is the B on the top string, 7th fret. The way I normally do it would be to start with the pinky on the B. Then slide the pinky down to the A. Okay. And that leaves you to stretch the hand across to drop that down there, and that down there, and that down there. So just seems to be the most logical. It's a good idea to get used to that pattern. I personally have found myself not doing that and doing silly things like this. Because I'm lazy sometimes and I'm not really looking at what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter, but you want the music to flow, and that is the most logical way to do it. Pinky there, slide, drop the second finger down to the G, first finger down to the F sharp, and then off. So, and then coming up, what I do is first finger on the G, the pinky up here to the B, and then that leaves you free to slide up to the 12th fret like this. There you go. That's how I've always practiced it. So if you do get mucked up and sort of all confused with the actual piece, focusing not only on the piece itself, you know, where does the finger go to play this piece, and also on the tremolo, these two things together can be a bit like patting your stomach and patting your head at the same time. To keep it simple so that you get the tremolo technique under control, I would also recommend that you practice on simple chords, like for example C major and A minor. And don't make it complicated. You could play simple pieces as well, but just keep it nice and straightforward so that you got the tremolo pattern under control before you start mixing it up with the actual piece, like this. Just practice it with a C chord. A minor, back to C. To me, that's your boot camp. If you don't have that right, you're not going to get anything right. So make sure you got that pattern with simple chords first. That's the way I would do it. Anyway, I do sometimes get mixed up. Where do we go next? I don't know. Let's just play the thing a bit slower and we'll just see how we go. See what pops up. Now the next chord is this. Now I used to have a lot of trouble with that change. In fact, I used to have a lot of trouble with just about all the changes in this piece. It seems deceptively simple to play. You know, someone said to me once, it's the easiest piece to learn, but the most difficult piece to master, especially with tremolo. So anyway, we got this. So far, so good. And then this bar chord pops up. Sorry. I still to this day have a bit of trouble with the buzzing on the strings. But just keep trying it. Anyway, the change of chord is what I'm trying to say. Just practice the change of chord. get that right first. When I play this piece, I find myself at times slowing down ever so slightly and making the volume a little bit louder or softer. It's just my own personal expression. So don't be afraid to put a bit of expression into it. For example, this at the end here. And you can't do that with a metronome. Practice with a metronome by all means to get the piece under control, but allow yourself a little bit of expression in there as well. Don't overdo it. Some people do overdo it, and I think it sounds corny and a little bit sort of forced. So that's just me. It's just me passing on to you my thoughts about this particular piece and how to play it. Look, I'm not going to say too much more because I think I've covered all the little dot points that I wanted to cover. Yep, don't forget to like if you like it, and please come back. And I'll leave it at that. I'll see you later.